Yes, of course. So hi everyone, my name is Michael. I'm from the UK. I came to Singapore about 15 years ago. Actually, probably more than 15 years ago. Before I started teaching English, I worked in the corporate world. Did a lot of traveling, but my first passion was always to teach. I decided to get my teaching qualification and I joined LSBF. At LSBF, we have 5 levels in the PCE program. We have first level is elementary level, which is A2 on the TFR, it's A2. And then we go up to pre-intermediate, intermediate, level 3, upper intermediate, and then on to the highest level is advanced. Up until 3 years ago, we were working with face-to-face Cambridge University coursebook, but we decided to change the course to Pearson. Pearson is one of the world's largest education providers, and they have a fantastic course which we adopted called Roadmap. Okay, so this is the English course program that we are using now. Why is it good? Because I think unlike face-to-face, this course combines blended learning. So of course you have the course book itself, physical copy, but students are also able to access online content. So they can do their own online exercises. There are activities for them to do. So it's a combination of both synchronous and asynchronous learning. We call it like a blended approach. And I think I read a report that they said for language learning, the blended learning approach is the best, achieves the best outcomes for students. So we've had a very good response since we started using Pearson as part of our course program. Yes, that's a little bit about the course. Okay, so in the morning, it's mainly the teaching aspect. Okay, so we follow the course book and the teachers do the grammar and vocabulary. So the teaching is all done in the morning. The afternoon is more productive. Okay, so the students in the afternoon session, they get to produce what they have learnt in the morning. It's much more teacher guided. So the students will have their online activities. They will also have worksheets. There will be more opportunity for them to build on their speaking skills. So there's a lot of speaking activities. So the afternoon session is more to see how the students are able to produce what they have learnt in the morning. I think so, because it's very engaging. We don't just put them in front, sit them at the table and give them a worksheet. There's a lot of group activities. There's a lot of speaking activities. So it's much more interactive and engaging for them. I conduct the afternoon class, and I can say for my afternoon session, there's a lot of activities going on. Yeah, there's games as well, which the students love, because it gets them to not just practice and produce the grammar and the vocabulary that they have learnt in the morning, but they're honing their speaking skills, because you're working in a group activity. So if the student doesn't understand what they have been taught in the morning, grammar, it's an opportunity for the teacher to review and go over that particular grammar again. So on average, we have between 10 to 15 students. It varies across the level, but generally between 10 to 15 on average. And we have quite a variety of students from many different countries. So thinking of some off the top of my head, we've had in the last 6 months, we've had students from Brazil, Turkey, Russia, Vietnam, Thailand, Korea, of course, Japan, Kazakhstan, Central Asia. Yeah, quite a range of students from different nationalities, which is great because the students love to communicate and meet different people, different cultures. Yes, so we have a teacher dedicated at each level. Starting at elementary level, we have a teacher called Ophelia. She's local Singaporean lady. She has been teaching English for the last 20 years. She specializes in teaching to younger learners, and her style of teaching is perfect, I think, for that elementary level where the students, ability-wise, they don't have English language ability, and she makes them feel comfortable in the classroom. Because when your ability is limited, you need that confidence, and so I think she's really a great teacher. We have a second pre-intermediate. We have a teacher called Tracy, and she also has 20 years experience. She used to work for the Singapore Ministry of Education in local schools. My level, as you know, I'm from the UK. I've been teaching for 8 years now, so I haven't got as much experience as the other teachers, but what I lack in terms of the years I've been teaching, I make up for because I come from the corporate world and I've traveled to many different places. I try to bring that aspect into the classroom and share my experiences. And then JK is our level 4 upper intermediate teacher. He graduated in Australia, I think, English literature degree. And he's been with the school for the last, almost as long as I have, the last 7-8 years now. And I think our most experienced teachers are advanced teachers. Joyce. Have you met Joyce before? Yeah. She's over 25 years in the teaching English. Not just in schools, she also conducts workshops for corporate, multinational companies, government departments. Yeah, so she has a lot of experience. You know, when you have a new intake of students coming into your classroom, I think it's so important to build a good rapport with the students. You know, teacher with the students, and not just teacher with the students, but students with the students. And I try to build that good atmosphere in the classroom. I think that is so important. And it really enhances the student experience. From my perspective, not only do we have a great course, the Pearson course is a great course, we have great teachers that conduct that course, but also LSBF, it's not just a school of English, we have a school of private, professional education. So students coming into LSBF, often we have many students that go on to diploma degree courses, and for them also to not just mix with students from School of English, they can, within the student body, they can mix with so many other different students from different nationalities. So I think that's one of the advantages. The other, LSBF is one of the best private education institutions in Singapore, and it's well known, as you know, they have locations, schools across the world. So we're part of a bigger organization. So I think that's important. And facility-wise, we have a great classrooms and a very central location. So I think I can understand where it's coming from. But since I came to Singapore, the demographic has changed. When I first came to Singapore, there were very few foreigners. You couldn't see many white faces. But now it's totally changed. 30% of Singapore are made up of foreigners. So you don't hear Singlish on the street as much as you used to. You hear people speaking English with all kinds of different accents, because the makeup of Singapore is now more, not just local, but foreigners. And the other thing is, I'm not too concerned because Singlish is really, it's lingua franca, it's a different spoken English. And I don't think there's any right or wrong way to speak English. I always tell my students, just make sure to study the grammar in the correct form. Yeah, I think absolutely, because it is the first language that is spoken. Of course, Singapore is made up of big Chinese nationalities, but everyone speaks English. You cannot get by in Singapore without speaking English. Yeah, so wherever a student goes, whether it's a supermarket, library, restaurant, they will have to speak English.
Yeah.
And I think Singapore is a great place to learn as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I believe the Korean student will enjoy the English.
It's comfortable, and because if you're a student coming from Korea, there's lots of Asian. It's comfortable environment as well because you have other Asian students.
Sure.
So I think they feel comfortable.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Do you know how to say thank you in Korean?
감사합니다. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
EJ.
you, Michael.
Most welcome.
Oh,